today. I'm going to go ahead and flip all the messages on. Excited to have you guys here today. Yeah, feminism and politics came up yesterday, so I didn't know if you guys wanted to discuss or debate. If you guys wanted to debate feminism or something, you guys wanted to debate some of these topics here on YouTube, I'm super excited about that. Or if you guys have your own, sort of bring your own topic, whatever. Yeah, and so I'm very excited. Oh man. Yeah, it seems super weird. There have been women leaders, presidents all over the world, and it seems like in the US, in the United States, it's here we have a problem, where, if things aren't portrayed in just the exact right light, it suddenly starts looking like, yeah, there is chauvinism, right? The patriarchy is here. The patriotism is back. The patronizing sort of sense of things. And so I want to open up and shed light on this topic and this issue, and share my own opinions and beliefs, but mostly hear back from you guys, right? Because I don't know. I know what I know, right? I know personally I'm not like the most caring person in the world in terms of, if a woman is more qualified than a man for a political office, and if it's the case that, the voting issues, need inclusion for like that type of input, hey, I'm down with it personally. I don't think it's this big like sort of gender style debate topic at this point in time. I mean, that's my honest opinion of it, but I do want to hear from you guys. And then also I looked up some sort of news stories. There's some stuff going on inside ICE, immigration, and stuff like that. And yeah, I was gonna set up a quick poll or something. I think, I don't know. What's the poll? Let's do that. Um, 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 and just to make it easy for folks to troll, or something like that. And so, yeah, just for whatever reason, put up one of these super chat goals. We'll see. We'll do it like this. Blam. And we'll make it easy. We will make it easy. Oops. And I do got some coffee today. Oh, what up, guys? Hey, Frank, great to see you. No, it ain't, brother. No, it ain't. Ow. Whoops. I gotta get my coffee, guys. It's sitting right here. No, it ain't. I think more people would have ran for Kamala Harris if she was just they would have voted for her if she was just on like Twitch all the time. Yeah, Madam President, right? Just because, yeah, the world's not a perfect place, so it's like yeah, Madam President, the first female president in the United States. But yeah, we thank you so much for your contribution. Also, you're going to need to get the KD in Fortnite up above 1.0. You're going to make sure you're talking to all the people. Otherwise, we're going to kick you out. The Pick Gamer. That's a cool PFP. I like those colors. I really do like those neon blue and pink and all that kind of stuff. What's good? What is WSG? What's good? Was good. Was good. I'm like old school. I'm old unk, so I need coaching. I need help up to understand some of this stuff. I need a little assistance. L'assistance. Yee. See, I like that. Yee. Bam. What up? Shout out shout out not Ms. Marilyn, but yeah, it is Marilyn. Scott Zuko, do you think there'll be a gay man elected president before a woman? I don't know. Pete Buttigieg seemed to be testing the waters a little bit ago. I don't know if you guys anyone subscribes to Mayor Pete on YouTube. Mayor Pete served in the military. He was like a management consultant for McKinsey. So he was at the biggest companies in the US, telling them how to shape a strategy that helps make them more money. And then he became mayor of Indiana, appointed to Secretary of Transportation under Joe Biden. So cabinet position in the White House, he understood like geopolitical drivers and some of the thought processes behind a bunch of that stuff. But hey, Sarah, thank you. Yeah. I heard Hugh Jackman was able to deadlift 500 pounds, which if you've seen the video, Hugh Jackman, when he was doing some kind of training, was able to deadlift like 500 pounds. So I agree with that for sure. But yeah, X-Men's like to me S tier, S tier comic book art. The best, my friend took me to the comic shop once because he's into that kind of stuff, and the comics that aren't like Marvel movies I thought were really good. They're very cool, right? There's a lot more honest character arcs, I think, like that, or they can just, there's like a lot of like freedom degrees and stuff. All right, you're the second person that was looking to run for president, Sarah. And so if you want to start campaigning in chat or something, I'm obviously not going to pressure you, and you don't need to stay here, but you're free to do that as well. Bernard Taylor, is he somebody that I need to know? I don't know. You didn't change, you keep talking nonsense to strangers. Yeah. I've heard the Congress is ready to impeach Trump. Yeah, Hegseth's got impeachment documents. Yeah. So Hegseth, and then who is it? That was the first big story that I Googled today, is ICE director Todd Lyons is quitting in May. And so that's really bad, right? If you look at Trump's immigration failures, deport the illegals, get all the illegals out. You got to get rid of all the illegals. If you look at, so you lose your top lawyer who is defending this stuff. You lose the person who was like basically, buying paper towels for the ICE offices and stuff. Something like that. You lost the person who was making sure the ICE signs and the US immigration signs were still working. And then the guy that's actually supposed to be training like 15,000 police officers, kind of, giving the little like map to them of where they go to do their job, he also gets fired. It ain't looking good, folks. It's looking pretty bad, actually. Pretty nasty. Hey, Michael. Yeah, I was born in 1989, like Taylor Swift, like Ms. Tay-Tay, and so definitely a millennial. Like I'm in the middle of I'm like kind of like middle. I think that's like middle of the millennial stuff. Whoops. Ow, sorry. Hey, thank you. I appreciate a Hog Cranker saying a prayer for me. So thank you, Mr. Hog Cranker. A lot of people make fun of me for either looking like I've done or do or whatever, substances. And so when guys like Hog Cranker come in, it's always kind of nice. Let's see. Illuminator has says gay with a rainbow. Tend to agree with that. Tough to argue with. Um, Beta male bottom vibes. See, there's the real message. Beta male bottom vibes. Yeah. Yeah. If I'm going to talk about women in politics today or ever, then why wouldn't I think about that kind of stuff? Why wouldn't I think about bottom vibes today? Beta male bottom vibes. Kamala Harris was really the tip of the spear for the Democrats, and also for feminism. And so people wonder why Democrats wanted Kamala to be president. And even if you disagree with Kamala Harris herself, um, just the idea that she was already thinking about small measures that would change people's minds forever. Donald Trump seemed to sort of imply that Kamala Harris hadn't thought about the American people. She didn't care about, rural America and stuff like this. But that isn't true, right? If you're creating these accessible federal programs anyone can use, and you're saying, hey, well, this is just the start, right? That's right. This is just the start. This is the first thing where I'm going to do as Madam President. Um, and so you already have, if you already have like actually 60 or 70% of the country that agrees with those things, I think Kamala Harris was actually too powerful. She was too powerful of a woman in order for most American people to accept her. In order for most American people to accept that she was going to be a successful, good president. So if you're Glenn, if you're mad that she was the DA in California, I think that's a fair criticism. You know, let she also not just let he who is without sin cast the first stone, but let she who is without sin cast the first stone. I'm sure the context, right? I also feel like that's a great example. What Glenn said is a great example of unfairness in politics. So Glenn, you'd never vote for Donald Trump because he was blabbering on, marching on about violence and being pro-war for like 20 years, right? That's what he was doing before president is he'd talk about how great he was, how great real estate was, and then he would be very war hawkish. He's a neoconservative. And so I just want to double check. I don't think that's a double standard, bro. Hey, no offense, man, but when I'm analyzing like my own mistakes or perceptual type issues, uh, you know, the thing that I'm technically looking at and looking for. Hey, I'm so sorry. Hey, I'm so sorry. Hey, Julius, great to see you. I'm back. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Anyone who saw me getting shut down, apologize. Julian, I'm just going to go ahead and clear your messages out for just a second. Feel free to subscribe and stick around. We're talking about politics. We're going to be doing some talk about women in politics. For people that haven't been following the elections recently, yeah, feel free. I thought that poll said, should women be treated fairly in politics? Heck yeah, I do think women should be treated fairly in politics. I think that's a great point. Whoops. I'm going to put this message up. Hey, what's up, UG? Good to see you. No kings. Yeah, no kings. That's always an interesting intersection. When people talk about intersectionality, people like No Kings wants to talk about people that have suffered an injustice under Donald Trump. They also want to talk about the actual like proceduralism, right? The legalism. That's one of the things that's kind of ironic because as Donald Trump has accused No Kings of being like this far left radical group, he's got some of the internet troll behaviors running around like is running around like freaking what's it called Like they're repeating these talking points like little like chicken nugget robots or something. But the problem with this is No Kings is actually about the proceduralism. It's about the ways Donald Trump's broken the law. It's about sort of the size and breadth of the actions of MAGA. And it's also about the sharp break. It's about the sharp break that MAGA's version and view of republicanism has encouraged people to undertake, and it's shifting the blame back to them. Yeah, Trump is a bozo. He's an absolute clown, dude. Trump is a bozo. He's an absolute clown. Um, and yeah, and I think the things that Donald Trump has been successful at, he asked you to make more than what it is. This is the crazy thing because women do get accused of stuff like this. People have said that like, oh, well, Hillary Clinton married Bill Clinton. And so Bill was involved with Washington politics since he was just basically out of college. And so Hillary Clinton got there because of this. And these are like, for some people, they're saying, well, that narrative, that sounds like it could make sense. But it isn't, because why isn't it the case then that Donald Trump, who knows, one of his building managers in New York City recommended he go do an interview. And so everything Donald Trump does is thinking about, his old building manager at Trump Tower in New York or something. That sounds like a very crazy narrative, but for women in politics, some could make the case that, hey, there is just this, there's this other speed bump or hurdle. And yeah, and women have to manage that type of criticism versus just talking about the issues like everyone else. Just the greatest president in modern history. Image Elohim. I like ducks. Are you asking me why I'm saying this or why my name? We are tired of you, Lugter. Inks Kenneth. Inks Kenneth. Jessica's real excited for the Sonic X movie. That's cool. I haven't seen it. I wasn't a big Sega person growing up. I had a Dreamcast and I played, I think I played, yeah. I never played, I don't know if I ever played Sonic. Like if there wasn't an N64 Sonic game, was there? But Sonic initially was the old Sega Genesis, I remember. Hey, thanks, Luke. Yeah, thank you. I don't understand that comment, I don't think, but women have more rights than they ever did. Way too much. We are not equal. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think you get people like Donald Trump involved in that conversation about women's rights, and suddenly there's an unequivocation or misappropriation. Deep secret of the universe, right? Big time deep secret. And so Donald Trump's not actually talking about jurisprudence. He's not actually talking about the law. Um, yeah, women used to, like half the women in the United States used to have their bank accounts tied to their husband. And so even for people that hate America, there's still this sort of factor that um, like, you can't imagine being a slave in your own household. I mean, that's really brutal and bad. That's really bad. Um, Hey, thanks so much, Tatvam Aussie 20. Trump is 100% ego and 0% awareness. Yeah, that's an awesome way to look at it. Yeah, that is such a cool thing, a way to be, I think, both fair to Donald Trump, and if he's asking us to consider him how he actually is, yeah, Donald Trump, himself, might say something like, well, you got to build the wall or, kick them out. But while he's coaching the marketing of MAGA, he's coaching people how to be hateful. He's not actually thinking about where the wall comes from. He's not actually thinking about what would be on either side of it. And those are actually more difficult questions. When you think of something static, like just this small example, but it's 4,000 miles of border wall. It's not actually static, right? There's change, there's evolution happening all around it, and there's political context that is just going to come in from all over the place. It's really complicated to build a border wall. With 100% ego Donald Trump, it's really easy though. You say it. And that's another thing that's going on is one of the things Kristi Noem did before she got fired or she quit, whatever it was. She had to bow out. She said, "Yeah, I'm done. I'm done working out of McDonald's. Like the president's Luigi Mangione or something like this. I'm sick of having to get like a Starbucks Wi-Fi password to work because the country's pulling me in 1,000 different directions." But she was at the Arizona and Texas border, watching them just build this giant, ugly, disgusting wall, and it's that way because we don't need a border wall. So thanks so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. It's very kind. The words against the Pope are the last insult in common sense, by the way. Yeah, really condescending for Tom Homan to look at Pope Leo and say, well, I think it's really bad this guy, and Tom Homan's smart enough. He's become a political animal a little bit. He's become this sort of character that's able to balance the tonality. But not really, right? But not really. It seems like he's protecting a very small cabal sort of skin and stuff like this. He's condescending. Tom Homan, and we're going to get to Pope Leo in a second, but Tom Homan has this view that he can talk down to the American people. He can lie about things. He can just be Donald Trump's sort of like speaker box or something like this, and never actually talk about why immigration matters, how to think about it, how other people might think about it. And yeah, so it is just a bunch of nonsense and BS. But in terms of Pope Leo, I think, offered a decent message that talks about secular morality. It also referenced the church's values and how the church sees things like war and violence and all of the big social issues Donald Trump is trying to solve without social justice or Jesus's teachings. And so Tom Homan said, yeah, as a Catholic, I want to go out and educate people about the war in Iran. This was his response that Huffington Post published today, or yesterday. Sorry. But he said, I want to go educate people about the war in Iran and about immigration and border issues and all these things that we're trying to do. And what is there to educate people about? Once you see a crime statistic or you meet the people, places, and needs that were impacted by crime, you can form a political belief based on that, or you can also go and source data and information from other places. Because in a society, we've seen what happens when you just try to throw a brick through a window to solve a problem. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Trauma is used by liberals to manipulate the masses. It's disgusting. I don't think that's the case. I think it's the other side, right? I'm not trying to debate or argue you that much. But yeah, when we hear sob stories coming with the triumphant, this is one way to see it. The triumphant side of things, is Donald Trump comes in and suddenly for people who have been aggrieved by big government, small town business owners, all this other nonsense and stuff like that. The complete other side of this is that, well, you're not actually fixing a problem. If you don't have a solution or didn't identify the problem in the right way in the first place, I don't know what to do, right? I don't get that stuff all the time. For someone like me, simple-brained, bird-brained, I think of like, well, let's keep the social safety net healthy, and let's also really, really actually care about like environmental issues. Let's make sure that people that are vegan, animal rights activists, or like, want to see, nuclear weapons go away. Let's give those people a voice. But just because you're upset because internet's expensive, whatever. That's a harsh thing. I got a super chat coming in. We'll get back to chat in just a second here. Hey, thanks again, Tat. That's awesome. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Um, thank you. Very grateful. Don't feel obligated to send money, and I also like very much appreciate it. So this says, um, we to go within and find the self, the awareness beyond the mind. Only from there we can heal. We will see that the war is with the outside agency. It's with ourselves. Yeah, that's very cool. That's a lot of wisdom because for me, in terms of like being detached or appreciating ego and things like this, um, I think there's a small ordinary view where I have a desire for a cup of coffee in the morning, or I have a desire to use ChatGPT for an easier answer. And so, if I'm curious, like let's just say you want to make an AI song, or you want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich like this second. These are maybe really big important cases where there's, for me, go within to find the self. There's maybe a deeper psychological reason someone wants to find the self, and from like a detachment or something sort of standpoint, because I read this as a Buddhist. I don't know if that's right or not, but there's also bigger stories. Where does a Sammy come from? What can I go do with it? What kind of conversations or something can I have with it? What happens if I get all that and then just shed it away? I'm able to uncover some of the very simple root causes, or the harder and the bigger sort of frictions that exist because of desire and because of myself. And I can say, well, I still have this self with me. That's not leaving, but I also get to lose the desire a little bit. Yeah, and in terms of healing, yeah, we live in a sick world, brother. I won't lie about that. We live in a sick world. There's sick people who have sick desires, sick demands. You know, the sick guy in front of you that you're seeing right here, he wants to come up here and talk to you today about women and men in politics. That's how disgusting I am. Um, you know, and so who am I actually arguing with? I didn't even think about it. Outside agencies. I didn't even think about it prior to starting this live stream, and so whatever. Can you shout out my bro, Dixon Mias? What is it? Sugar in the Tank wants me to shout out Dixon Mias for his birthday. Hey, happy birthday, bro! We see you out there. Shout out to you. Yeah. Yeah, and shout out wherever you guys are coming from. If you want to tell me where you are in the world, I always look at YouTube analytics. This is a small little, it's a data platform that I can see where you guys are chatting from. But if you want to tell me in chat where you're from, just country, continent, whatever, shout out to all you guys. I'm streaming from Phoenix, Arizona, in the southwest region of the United States, So I'm very excited to be here. And yeah, all this kind of stuff too. So cool. But yeah. So were the women is the daughter of God. So what we're speaking of daughters in politics, what about female partners? Yeah. Earthly women. Yeah. Very earthen woman. Dearthen man, dearthen woman, earthly woman. And they partner with men. In theory, these women partner with men. No, but they're earthen women. I was watching Sasha Grey play this like pirate style game the other day, and it's this very earthen woman that's going around and killing a bunch of these very powerful, high attack point like wild pigs and stuff like that. um, and so, yeah, there's definitely a deep layer where just with our metabolism and our brains and stuff, women are just like men. So I mean, it's one of those things where if you're talking about women being God's daughters, I see it as losing. I would personally see it from a political science perspective as they totally lose that connection to the divine in the first place. But then that also means that fellas, ladies, it's a good time to have fair conversations, and for people like me to shut up, just stop talking at some point. If you don't have awareness, you will be a slave to your brain. It's all different states and outside events. Yeah, I can feel that way from time to time. Israeli Jewish only nation. Jesus burns. Yeah. From 900 series Jordan. I'm not going to show that chat on screen, but from my understanding, this phenomenon of nationalism, which has been emphasized in places, I believe, in like, what is it with like, is it Iraq? With like having differing politics than Kurdistan recently after the invasions and stuff like this. But also, especially the Palestinian war, especially the, Israeli-Palestinian Lebanese war, that this sense of nationalism is still a new invention. It's a new invention, right? And so asking why people have lost their darn minds might be the right starting point. Yeah, y'all gone a little bit, been wilding and stuff like that recently. A little too wilding, you know, a little bit too wilding for some of this BS, but yeah, Donald Trump told us that a political baseline isn't sending shipments of trucks, big shipments of boats and trucks with, basic staples and sort of the essential, anti-inflammatory medicines, and ensuring there's like clean water kits, places that have been affected deeply by climate change, right? This isn't any sort of political foundation or baseline. This exists nowhere. This can't exist anywhere. And so that negative space that's created by like someone who portrays himself as hyper masculine like Donald Trump is an absolutely absurd sort of starting point. It's so easy to spend lots of time, months, hours, days, weeks, whatever it is, focusing on the negative aspects of MAGA, but give Donald Trump the credit where the credit is due. Give him credit where the credit's due. He said that the United States can't do anymore. He said the United States can't even be a moral leader on all this stuff, I guess. I don't know. Milo, I don't know which day I would relive or why it would be. Yeah. Probably when I got my Michael Jordan jersey. I remember I was gifted a Space Jam jersey with Michael Jordan's number and name on the back. And the first time I opened that up, I was really excited about it. First time I opened that up, I was super excited and jacked about it. Everybody gets along good if no one is talking about politics. The minute people talk politics, everyone hates each other. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah, but we have to talk politics. This is the nature of the political animal. This is one of them natures of the political animal. The nature of the political animal is also that, like a way a PhD might think of this is, and sorry if this isn't that based, but yeah, why, the first question is maybe why have humans written about politics for 2,000 years? Are there similar observations or similar starting points, similar places in the universe? It'd be very surprising if, we see Diogenes, who was an ascetic, or we see Socrates talking about politics, but he starts by talking about geometry or physics. They start by talking about the true nature of things, but it isn't. In reality, we say, well, what is there a true nature of politics? I don't know. Let's write about it. Super, super attractive, right? This is maybe one of the reasons why when in like places like Australia or the US, we see lower voting rates. We see 36% of the population might vote. In a really wild year, maybe you have 37, 38% of the population turns out to vote. And one of the big reasons for this is because politics isn't about the true nature of things right away, right? It's not immediately apparent. It's either difficult to find or it's just one of several realities that ultimately live in the political space or something. Yeah, but it's not that they lose the connection because it doesn't teach them to behave as adults, but more as children. I mean, they're supposed to, probably it's our fault, but we're not supposed to teach them. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. Come on, Eileen. Do 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 do. Did everything. You in that dress. Your white boots are the best. Do do do. Come on, Eileen. Do 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 do. Whoops. All right, guys. I'm gonna link out to this. We'll see. I linked out to a HuffPo article if anybody wants something to read. I don't know if you guys will think this is an editorial or an analysis or how it's investigative. Those are all important questions that in political science people ask. Um, when we're looking at a source of information, there's often sources that appear authoritative. Someone speaking from as a press secretary for the White House or an official press release on a .gov often looks like it's authoritative. So we would assume that this is analytical, it's analysis. We'd also assume that it's somewhat investigative. And oftentimes people can say or accuse that these are editorialized. It's usually somewhere in between, I think, when there's a state level communication, because it is usually based a little bit on competition. It's usually based a little bit on equal sum cooperation, but it's still based on games. Those don't really have a true, like, honest sort of sense of things in the universe. Some people would say they do. But that guy's called Heigl, right? We don't like him. We don't like G.W. Heigl. Just kidding. We do. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I am super woke. I am super woke all of the time. Yeah. So far, 30% of people say women are treated fairly in politics. I bet you have a really and this is sort of, I think like a divine masculine, divine feminine sort of enlightened way of thinking about it is that even people that are super adamant feminists maybe have something to learn from the people that say women are treated fairly in politics. Cool. In what sense? And in sense of the same outcomes you see for yourself, or in terms of the same sort of psychological and physiological safety net that men have when they approach politics for the first time. I saw this guy on one of my friends' channels. He was running for a seat in Florida. So Florida man doing Florida politics. But he was up there, he was on the stream talking about, retard this and that and all this other stuff. And it's just really funny because I can't picture a woman running for a political office like Kat Abu Ghazala or whatever it is. She's very famous now. If you've seen her, she's a woman running for a political office in Chicago, in Illinois. Yeah, she wants to write EPA regulations for soybeans or something. But no, but she made it on social media. She came up. She said a lot of great things. She seems like she has the sort of civic mindset to be very successful in politics. And I'm not trying to say that, depending on how you speak or think about things, you're not qualified. But it's just funny because if, R slurred this, R slurred that, this guy's gay, and the next thing you do is you go run run for office. I mean, honestly, it's really not that funny because I guess it's a choice. I guess it's a choice. Oh, Yeah, I'll start a cult, brother. Democrat women are totally privileged in politics. La parte de Mexico, go! All right. All right. Madam President, what shall I chant next for thee? Yeah. Well, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you what. The folks don't need to know about the Dallas-Fort Worth call girls available for men in a certain position of power. They don't need to know. They don't need to see. They don't need to care. They don't need to know. They don't need to see. They don't need to care. Yeah. God dang science project, apparently. Bro, though. La parte de Mexico, go 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 go. Yeah, you know. Prior to coming online and being known as Ducks Y, I was known as Old Gargles McGee. Yeah. The fellers would say I was the best gargler in all 50, even Puerto Rico. You get fellers like Donald J. Trump, just like him, not him particularly, but fellers like Donald J. Trump would come from all over to come see me. And they would say, well, whatever ails you in politics, gargles can fix it. You know how? And they would clarify. They'd say, well, look at the surname. McGee, that's Irish. Feller will take this sort of islandy Western European approach to it. I reckon I'd say that is true. Is this an X-Men's audition? I like that, brother. Thanks, Pablo. Thanks, Pablo. No. I'm gonna stay live 24/7 until the CIA and NSA recruits me away from my life. I'm gonna tell them, hey, ignore the trespassing and the drug charges just like everyone else. And yeah, hire me to go be a nice person and say nice things. Come on, Eileen. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you guys. Yeah. Jimmy Iovine, and we respirating. I didn't aspire, but I perspired. Hell yeah, brother. You guys know about Orange Theory Fitness all around the world? They'll put a little heart rate monitor on you. It goes right about here, all wraps around the body. And so as a male, you would say, well, here's the proof. Here's the proof right there. And then you get on the rowing machines. And you say, here's the world record. You say, hey, I ain't done yet. You say, here's the world record, folks. Yeah. Dude, I do feel pity and sorry for... Hey, what up? We got Bad Eye Crazy in chat. Shout out Thank you for the fish, sir. Thank you for the fish sticks. Thank you for all the kind words and the fish sticks. I miss plucking off your itchy beard hairs when you were tired, babe. Hell yeah, brother. Appreciate that. Hey, no pickle tickle talk. Thank you. There's the line today, buddy. Yeah, I don't know. Howie, tell me how to get hired for one of them's jobs or whatever. Tell me how to get hired for one of them's jobs. I don't know. Everything is about bearing. It's about bearing the actual desire. It's about bearing stuff. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Those are none of the conversations people want to have. Interesting, always good stuff. This is what my father told me, and I hope you guys, and his father before him taught him small moves big, big moves small. It's about becoming. It's about becoming. If someone sends a red super chat right now, I can log off for the day. You guys can go support charities. Don't send me $100, please. Jesus Christ. We think money's going to alleviate stress. We think money's going to make us happy and successful. And yeah, it never passes through, not really. The circular economy, men and women in Washington and in governments all over the world, Jeffrey Sachs want this circular economy. Everything's going to be perfect and we're going to fix it together. No, we ain't. No, we ain't. Yeah. It's the stories, right? The circular economy, one might say it's about the stories. It's not about how people complain about Angela Merkel. It's not about Claudia Sheinbaum, leading things, holding it down in Mexico City. You may have seen the movie El Mariachi, starring Antonio Banderas. You may have seen Once Upon a Time in Mexico. And I learned this yesterday. I continuously remind myself, when asked to do so, that yeah, okay, so an agreement that there is a sort of space between me and another person exists, but also an agreement that there's a space between, classic Danny Trejo movies and actual Mexican politics. That also exists, right? That's got to be a real thing. It's got to be close to that. I don't know what it would be, but all right. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. Yeah. You guys believe in Donald Trump's war on drugs? Donald J. Trump's new war on drugs? I have addiction running in my family, and I still don't believe in Donald Trump's approach to it. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, bud. I hope you guys are all well and happy, and you guys appreciate the universe, appreciates you being yourself and you today. And yeah, Anshala, Anshala. Here, I think this is what the people wanted. Here. Now you guys can have a MAGA hat and Jeff Epstein. It's called marketing, brother. It's called marketing. I want a prestige. I want a Call of Duty prestige. I want a custom milled I want a custom milled, not really, but I want to get rid of the mildew on my profile with no green names, you know. I know one of you guys are on Social Security and you're going to get Chipotle later, and you could very easily buy 5 gift memberships. I would be incredibly grateful for it. First 5 members of Ducks White Channel. We got the crew here, right? It's the crew here. This is a great time to buy 5 gift memberships. You guys can spam stupid emojis. I'll upload a new emoji. You guys can pick the emoji I upload. The people don't have any information about their identity. Hell yeah, baby. Then you got, cash is for losers. No offense, I'm not trying to call people losers, but people that want cash, they ain't thinking about it the right way. You got to have cool colors. You got to have collectability, recognition factor. You got to have discussability. No cash, right? 0 cash, folks. Yeah. Sounds like a good deal. How do I sign up? Yeah. If you have easy access to the $ symbol and you guys got, some money in your Roth IRAs, you guys have faith in the Social Security system of the United States, you got a ton of money, a ton of extra money, rich uncle, that kind of stuff. If you guys have FU money, you could buy 50 memberships right now and change my life, dude. I think that's how you do it. You could also go donate money and save a life per Peter Singer and all this other stuff. But you could also bling the account, right? Bling the account. There's a world where we get 100 people in the chat room and all 100 of them have green name tags, dude. That's crazy, bro. I'm offering associate's degree level information and knowledge. I occasionally sing some of the words right to songs, and that's about it. Yeah, that's about it. Hey, notification 5056. That's a cool name. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Why are you so stupid? Hey, Pablito. Hey, Pablo. I'm not stupid, dude. I'm trying to fight the system. I'm trying to go back to we didn't start the fire. It's always been burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire. Microwaves and bathing apes, spinning fans and dinner plates, dirty headphones, dirty keyboard, air compressors, and some more. I just logged into OfferUp. I deleted OnlyFans. I was trying to get fit, so I ate some arroz. We didn't start the fire. It's always been burning since the world been turning. Yeah. I live in Arizona, and I don't mean to say this in a bad way, but you can talk to kind of a rotund, Latino man down here, rotund Latino man, hey Mexicano, you go to the barrio, Uncle Tio, Aunt Tia, they'll call you up and they will tell you, they'll say, hey, hijo, you've forgotten where you come from, so I just want to go get some tacos, right? You can get a lemonade, right? Lemonada, lemonade. They'll say, so we're gonna go down to the barrio and we're gonna go down to, Manuel. We're gonna go to Manuel's taco shop. And so you go down there and you see just another Chicano family, and you see one rotund man, and he's with his brother, very skinny, tall and skinny. And you go ask the rotund man, hey, how he stay so skinny way? And he'll say, oh, frijoles y arroz. And then you ask the skinny guy, you say, hey, he's kind of fat. How do you get this way? And he goes, oh, frijoles y arroz. Same 2 people, same family, same genetics, same food. There ain't a difference, dude. There's no difference for health and things like that. No, dude. Is my mic working? Is my audio on? I will subscribe and like, and next time you're live, bro, I will give you a few subs. Hey, thanks, Dr. Phil. I hope you enjoyed the show. Just thanks for the like and the subscribe, and thanks for the kind words too. That stuff's all more than enough, right? Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Likes don't pay the bills, brother, is what the people say. Hey, I'm buying that stuff. Hey, brother Muslim. Hey, salam alaikum. I'm trying to get my hamdulillah. I'm trying to get that a little better, bro. But good to see you. Hopefully you're having a good day. Shout out to the Arab world and everyone. The Arab world, as if it's different from my own. But what's up? Hopefully you guys are all good. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, of course, alhamdulillah. I was told recently, alhamdulillah. Trying to soften it up a little bit. Hey, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Praise be to God. I think that means. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anyone could complain about being treated, quote unquote, unfairly. Yeah. Alhamdulillah. Cool. Hell yeah, brother. Alhamdulillah. 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 Okay. Oh, Alabama, Arkansas, I do love my mom and pa, not the way that I do love you. Well, man, oh man, you're my best friend, I'll sing it to oblivion. There's just so much we can do. Let me go home. Home is wherever I'm with you. Home. Let me go home. Home is wherever I'm with you. Do 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 do. Yeah, historically, so for my waifu, goth mommy, dom mommy subs that I have personally on YouTube, these are sometimes creators that also have, like link pages and stuff like that. I won't say much more, but pertaining to this stuff, I do see you, Mini God. You're right there, Mini God. I got you in chat right there. You're in chat. Yeah, but pertaining to if you're talking about that type of mommy stuff, dude, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I go and look at those the subscription spaces. And yeah, I personally don't have money for like even free only OF right now or something like that. But pertaining to just the sort of chat environment, creating a positive, safe atmosphere that respects personhood and space and stuff like that, totally down, dude. Oh, Alabama, Arkansas, I do love my mom and pa, not the way that I do love you. Well, man, oh man, you're my best friend. Sing it to the nothingness. Do, 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 do. Yeah, some of my biggest YouTube heroes, right? People I look up to do nonsense on YouTube. Some people are spending all day talking theological stuff. They're talking about the ways that our rational and irrational mind can be shaped and driven and connected to the things that people care about, But do you know what the world is like? They say it's never enough. It's never enough. It's never enough, right? It's never enough to be rational and make sense of stuff. It's never enough to say it's not, it's something else. And so you keep, you keep running into the same types of walls. I got something to show you guys. I got to show you guys this. Ow, Jesus. I wanted to show you guys this Air Jordan sneaker. Oh man, you're my best friend. I'll sing it to the nothingness. There's just so much we can do. Let me go home. Home is wherever I'm with you. Let me go home. Home is wherever I'm with you. Oh, Alabama, Arkansas, I do love my mom and pa, not the way that I do love you. Whoops. Red super chats, guys. If someone sends me a red super chat right now, no offense, bro, I'll tell you the story about how I bought the Jordan Runners. These are one of the sickest Nike drops. They're worth like absolutely nothing, right? I'm not a sneakerhead, but I know these are worth like not very much. But these are from like the J Lab. You know, if you guys know J Lab here, these are like the Jordan Runners. So I can, and I know they're not that fresh looking, but I can do my best to try to pop the laces, pop the tongue out on those a little bit, give you guys a better view of what's going on in my head right now. Hell yeah. Adele Moser. Yeah. Documentary. I don't know. Showing in detail what's going on here. Yeah. Hey, what's going on here, buddy? Oh, Alabama, Arkansas, I do love my mom and pa, not the way that I do love you. Let's walk through this great mystery together because it is a mystery. So if you're living in a society and your society, hey, shout out to you in India. Hope you're having a great day. I'm in Phoenix, the United States. I got a couple Jordan sneakers behind me. Good to see you. Good to see you. You know what I thought was funny? I thought it was funny like 3-4 years ago when social media, the first time that like US social media started getting more people from like, Bengali folks, friends from like whatever, Vietnam. And I'm not trying to like highlight, where your geography or something like this, but people were like, no, bro, you are on our social media. It is Michael Jordan, Donald Trump, Kamala Harris. And then, and now there's like Indian chess streamers and stuff. And they're like, get the cat, American, go get the cat. Yeah. It's like, oh, yeah. If I can knock, I knocked most of it out. And so if I knock the new stuff out, there we go. We have all the same stuff, but yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I ain't trying to single nobody out, but we type in that community here, right? We typing it up. Yeah, but if we wonder why isn't it the case that you can just have like a neighborhood and that neighborhood has one billionaire? And it's not an oligarchy, but one person, this is kind of what political theory is like. Yeah. A neighborhood with 1,000 people has one billionaire, and it's not like oligarchy, it's not aristocracy, they're not a king, it's not like anything else, but you just decide, yeah, this person isn't like a philosopher king or anything, but they do go to work, they make their $1 billion, and the 1,000 people depend on this person. But it's just like that. It is just like that, right? There's not like a set of rules or something like that. You know? And yeah, one of the weird parts of this is that it takes a lifetime. It isn't something that starts in childhood, but it does take a lifetime for people to adapt and adjust to their space around them. New stimuli, new things, new stuff. There's new stuff everywhere, guys. Come on, guys, try to be serious. Try to be a little serious. Ow. Try to be a little serious, everybody. I'm kind of done playing these games. Ow. That's a cool one. I don't know why I keep getting the left sneaker. I don't know why I keep getting the left sneakers when I want the right sneakers. Hell yeah, brother. How's that look? Oh man, you're my best friend. I'll sing it to you, the nothingness. There's just so much we can do. Home, dumb, let me come home. Home is wherever I'm with you. You want to know why I got these scars? Why so serious? Tower cycling hat. Yeah, dude. I went into the cycling shop to get some like inner tubes. And I was a douchebag. I bought lightweight carbon wheels for my bike back in the day. They're super cool. Yeah. Cool story. I looked up the story of the company afterwards, but anyways, so I was having some work done on just the wheels of the bike, and getting some tubes, just getting kind of some of the staples, chain degreaser, that kind of stuff. And yeah, and I got and if you're asking about it, and so the bike shop, I got this, the Raleigh rep had been in, and they were giving out hats. And you guys can see this looks like the sort of attack tiger mode, the attack tiger where the guys are sitting, straight up on the bike, but you have a little bit of an arch, it happens naturally. You're just sitting there and you start pedaling, you start seeing and competing a little bit, you start having a goal or a desire or something like this. And, just naturally, your hips might shift under you. Your feet are going to kind of maybe play and get into that locked position. And then you get a little bit of that sort of intenseness to it. But hell yeah, brother. My goal was to be the hipster Spike Lee back in the day. Someone suggested, what they said was, Duck, you come into the picture and all of a sudden the world opens. Everything changes. That is how, folks. That is how change happens in politics. That's why we need women in politics, because you could say there's a world where Duck isn't, Duck is doing exactly what he's still doing today. Beard growing tips. Yeah, don't shave it, right? Just don't shave any of it. The reason I grow a beard is because it's a lot easier when I have to do work stuff or something like that, or a job interview. I can shave this part here. Yeah, when I have work stuff or a job interview, I can shave this stuff here, and yeah. And so preserving the sense of fidelity about some of this stuff, the sense of fidelity about a lot of it is that, well, look, there's a story that doesn't make sense, and there's a story that does make a ton of sense, and there's a story that is true, a story that was true, and yeah. And which one do people want, right? If you tell the president of the United States, if you were to tell Kamala Harris, hey, look, I'm sorry, Madam President, I didn't phone bank, I didn't do enough. My state lost you by 1%, and I could have been that 1%. I could have been that difference maker had I just tried, right? It's not the fact that there's a voter's paradox. It's about how hard people try for the impact and the issues they care about. How hard people are willing to work for the issues that matter. And yeah, you do have to stand up and oppose some of the nonsense. You do have to oppose some of the absurdity and tell people don't escalate. Don't go further. Don't go further. Please. Yeah, 4 vectors, guys. 6 vectors. Tommy Vector. Hey, the boy's named Tommy Vector, Tommy Invective. But pretty soon, whatever. I don't know. Oh, Alabama, Arkansas, I do love my mom and pa, not the way that I do love you. Oh man, you're my best friend. We'll sing it to the nothingness. There's just so much we can do. All right, guys. I'm not going anywhere, but I'm just gonna tell you, I'm gonna do some housekeeping. I gotta go. I'm gonna go erase the here. Give me a second, guys. I'm gonna go. Anyone who I've previously hidden on the channel, I'm gonna go unhide right now. And here's some MAGA emojis just to break up the whatever you guys were talking about. Don't worry about it. Here I am. There's some random emojis. So let me go unhide all the users, and yeah, we will just be better when we can. Let me go home. Home is wherever I'm with you. Let's see here. I don't know how to do this. Nope, that's not it. Under settings, permissions, community moderation, user management. Cool. We got a bunch of moderators and stuff on here. Oh, whoops. I don't need to know how to do that either. I don't need to know how to do that either. You guys want technical, stupid definitions? Not really. No, they don't. No, they don't. They don't want technical definitions for anything. Donald Trump is a murderer. Donald Trump is a murderer. Okay. Okay. Oh, Alabama, Arkansas, I do love my mom and pa. Hey, thanks, dude. Appreciate it. I'm on some jazz snaz hands right now. I just have this big thing that isn't good going through me, trying to be myself, and so I ain't feeling myself right now a little bit, but I don't know. Hopefully y'all's good. Snap, dude. So I'm setting up the channel rules for chat right now. So when people come and want to chat, I'm gonna say what's up. Okay. Okay. There's something in the nothingness. There's just so much we can't do. Snapchat says, I hate Trump and MAGA. Then metastasizes. Are you frustrated with the state of things? Yeah. And oh man, you're my best friend. I'll sing it to the nothingness. There's just so much we can do. Let me go home. Home. Home is wherever I'm with you. Do you guys learn how to do web research? Doing things like, I was curious about the Tea Party a while ago, so I would just do like 2009 Tea Party Sarah Palin. Like that would be my Google search. You know, it's not a ChatGPT or AI query. Hey, ChatGPT, can you find me the first anti-establishment argument about Sarah Palin? You know, I'm curious about how Kamala's chances are impacted by the Koch brothers and by big money Facebook marketing and advertising. Oh. Oh yeah, that was the second thing. So I set up my chats. I'm going to go and I was gonna find all the banned hidden users and unban them. I was gonna go unban people. The great unbanning. But I don't know how to do it yet. Content detection. It's not settings. Whoops. There's a business email address. A song request. Yeah, for sure. If I know it. I ain't saying you're going to be happy with it. I'll do my best for you. For sure. Wyman, yeah, sorry about that. Whoops. Hey, crew, you'll be back in 60 seconds. We had the real OG showed up in the chat. So we got a 60-second timeout. Oh, Alabama, Arkansas, I do love my mom and pa, not the way that I do love you. Oh man, you're my best friend. We'll sing it to the nothingness. There ain't so much we can do. Yeah, Hizzle, I'm about to go find all the EO content creators and unban them. So, unban them from the channel. You know, back in the days when Sarah the Raging Tomato was still doing business with Made by Jim Bob, still doing business with Andrew Wilson. Lots of people found out about me back then. Lots of people wanted to come argue and debate. Man, dude, I don't think I've ever seen a bicycle that hat with the bill flipped down. Well, now you have there. How do I look? I look like too big of a newsie. I think it was relating to the all caps and the content thereof of the all caps. So if you're putting something in place that other people shall read, that is perhaps why one of the moderators blocked you in this case. Yeah. Just random in your stream. Who are you? Hey, Shadow Status. My name is Duck. In real life, my name is Nathan. I am a a hipster political commentator. My goal is to, if you send me a $500 red super chat, it's going to go towards opening a hand welded titanium bike frame shop right here in Phoenix, Arizona. We're going to make fixie as well as sort of drop derailleur style. Maybe we'll do some integrated hub bikes that can fit like 38, 42Cs, but nothing too outrageous. I've done lots of things for a living. Yeah. And so I'm at the point now where I basically only accept $500 and up donations. If you guys want to go to my profile, I'm looking for not a sugar daddy, but an investor to send me like 25K. And yeah, my main goal in life right now is I'm going to go through these like $600-700 blocks of money. The money comes in, and then I'm going to go see if there's like a way that I could spend it locally at like wine clubs. And then I'll come back to YouTube. Money comes in, money comes in, money comes in. Yeah. Yeah, we try to be a free speech channel, but it is YouTube, right? I set up the conversation rules and stuff like that. Yeah, Funk Congress, yeah. That is a little bit between what I'm capable of at this point in time, Yep. So I don't know what happened. Take me home, coming home. Home. Let me go home. Home is wherever I'm with you. Home. Let me go home. Home is wherever I'm with you. All right, everybody. How do you empty the old fishing bucket to free people? One doesn't. One does not empty buckets, I don't believe. So let's check. So 28% of people still say it's complicated if women are treated fair in politics. 35% say yes, and 37% say no. This is based on 92 opinions of people all around the world. People all around the world. All right, so I'm in YouTube Studio. I'm trying to find where I can go to unblock users. Shout out recent subscribers. We got Arcade Pilot, Ahmed Nassar, Baby Love 966. I know there's more folks that have recently subscribed, people that have been here. Crew, it looks like pertaining to YouTube features, you're getting owned. You're getting owned right now. I don't think Hizzle would say it a different way, but I don't speak for Hizzle either, right? I don't speak for him. Yeah. So, yeah, I know I'm ugly. I know I'm ugly. Hizzle has a beard. I've seen Hizzle IRL. So, if you're making fun of people with facial hair, with pubic hair on their face, you're making fun of me, you're making fun of Hizzle. But yeah, bro's not down. Bro's gonna be back up in 60 seconds. He's gonna be coming back up, sport time, man. So do you guys think Donald Trump is actually upset or angry with Iran? Do you guys feel that, it's woke frosted tips, it's like Destiny circa 2015, Destiny first discovering the internet to like oppose Donald Trump in Iran? I don't think it is. Ooh, should I get more coffee, guys? Let me know in chat. I can go get more. I want to go get some of Uncle Sam's coffee. A little more of Uncle Sam's coffee, dude. We'll be right back. I'm gonna put a be right back message up. I gotta go find this video, dude. Is Donald Trump back on Epstein Island, bro? Oh. Do 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 do. Whoops. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Oh my God. I got coffee, I got money, I got compliments, folks. I know y'all can hear me. Hizzle, here's to being accessorized, brother. Let me go ahead and tap this guy down. There we go. Bam, 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 bam. You guys, I just want to say, if you guys can keep the crack pipe away from the kids. It's a great start to a lot of the things. Hizzle, you've achieved so much. Keep going, brother. Thank you. I appreciate the super chat. The $5 helps a ton, bro. Thank you. Thank you. $5. Oh. Yeah, all kinds of nonsense, dude. I think what Hizzle and I don't want to like psychologize Hizzle, but if anyone was curious about the celebrity, the legend, Hizzle's recognizable factor, I think it's just that people put stuff, what we agree upon, even though we maybe we have different experiences, we come from different places, is people do put stuff out there, right? People put out woman hate for like Kamala Harris or something. And it's like, cool, you don't have to love Kamala Harris, but you did put out that woman hate. You put out anti-political views and beliefs and stuff. So, if the world and the internet wants an army of people with like hacksaws and bear traps to go around and say, well, hey, say nice things, say not nice things. Hey, Islam Guen, nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Good to see you. Welcome to the Ducks White channel. Ow. 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 Yeah. And so, yeah, and there's lots of issues, right? If people want to choose to debate or argue about trans or gay rights, that's all right. But those are also things that are happening today in the present moment, impacting people. When Kamala Harris is running for president, that's impacting her in the present moment, And so I think people that equivocate or fail to detangle the impact or how their words are perceived and how they hurt people or help people, that's not something that people can get out of. And again, I'm not trying to put this all down on any one person or, it's a YouTube live audience, it's a chat room. So people are going to come in and say things about like pubic hair and stuff like that. But, yeah, if you don't like Ilhan Omar, but you're picking her out, right? I think that's a weak beta male. Duck just wants to say I'm a big fan before I go to bed. You're just going to bed now, dude? It's 11:30. We'll see you in 8 hours back on there. You're a big motivation. Taco, you're a motivation for me. I don't know how you do what you do. Dude. Yeah. Hey, thank you, Taco and Hizzle. Are Taco and Hizzle the same person? That is an internet mystery. We still, based on the logic tree, based on the modality of it, we don't know. We need a modal ontological argument for the differentness of Hizzle and Taco. Yeah. But yeah, I think if you're gonna pick on Ilhan Omar, Alaska Assassin, I think to me that is finding an easy target because Ilhan Omar is just a progressive Democrat like a lot of people. She's also, her political views and the policies come from the perspective of integration. as well as just mainstream US nationalism politics in the same way as everyone else, right? You know, she has the same stakeholders and responsibility. And so, I don't know that it's all something to be celebrated, but why aren't, hey, Princess Leia, good to see you. Hello, hello, how are you? Her anti-American take. I don't know what anti-American take you can have if you're literally, her and her husband's business offices are right next to an Oshkosh Bigosh and a Gap, you know. She started her, the billion-dollar venture capitalist would say, well, she started her political career out of a Sears Roebuck catalog like everyone else. So, yeah. Hey, I'm sorry if somebody's having problems with alcohols, drugs abuses, and these types of deals. Um, the yeah, my hope is that you can be happy and as well as where you are, and I understand those things are always a lot of those things can either be bigger or smaller than people emphasize and make them to be as well, and things like this. So take time with that type of conversation as well. I'm not in a rush. I've been online for an hour and 38 minutes, taking up a lot of Google's hard drives and storage spaces. And so I'm happy to have those types of conversations. Uh, yeah, Immortal and Princess Leia. This is a politics channel first and foremost. I do debates, I do philosophy, religion stuff as well. Um, and so yeah. And that's Breakfast Tacos. That's his channel, Mega Bloodbath Debate. So we're a bunch of Reddit atheists. You can see I'm mostly not a Reddit atheist, but we all have this little patch of beard here that is neckbeard. This side looks all right, but this side is neckbeard. And so that's really what we try to do here. That's really what we try to do here, folks. That's what we try to do here as well. Um, what is centrism? Yeah, I mean, I think centrism is an analytic approach, my opinion. Centrism is a method of analysis uh, where the political poles and the sort of biases that can come in interpreting data and interpreting events in the world and interpreting personalities and actors are supposed to fall away a little bit. They're supposed to fall away to find a solution that looks like something that people would be okay with, livableness maybe, And so it's interesting, like a topic. I think the fake politics, right? Fake politics is something that is like, um, well, affordability and the price of gasoline. These are centrist issues. Everyone can care about them, but in reality, this doesn't talk about both the grievances that maybe like the patriot government right has, that, oh, you didn't care about rural America, and you didn't give us a chance. You tried to not give us a chance to have a conversation about energy. And the other side of this is, yeah, you didn't give us gave us no time to think about this stuff. But the other, like, to me, the bigger side as a progressive is you didn't talk about injustices in the world. And so I think centrism is a great starting point. However, it can also produce irrationality in my view. um, Yeah, we are an education-based channel. Education-based channel. Um yeah. So when there's new topics that people can think about in a new way or something like this, um the the value or significance of that to me is that my college education can be put back to good use. Um, like with 10,000, if you can imagine, my view as a political theorist and political science guy is that if 10,000 people get college degrees and 5,000 end up being voters at least once in their life, and 300 start businesses, you're only going to really have like two people that are left that are smart people. Yeah. Yeah, guys, and please, happy to have everyone chatting. Also, kind of two-way respect. I appreciate people coming in here sharing their favorite Bible verse and stuff like that. Also you can kind of read some of the other chats and stuff like that too. And the mods that are here could be on doing other things, right? They don't get paychecks, you know. In fact, Hizzle thus far has paid me in order, he's paid me. I don't pay him, right? And so, yeah, let's have some two-way respect and stuff like that too. Uh, yeah, it is a little sexist, Chelsea. Um, that is there's you know you don't realize that if you think this looks okay today or it's mediocre, it's not great, that I then have to adapt for that, right? I cannot personally be benefiting, cui bono. I cannot be taking more than I've earned regarding my beard. So all of this goes away. Money in, money out. It all falls away eventually. Even my aesthetic. I'm an athletic pedic. I got a pedicure for the pedicure. Yeah. Waifu mommy gimp daddy. I'm looking for a baddie. Voted for Kamala. Alabama, Arkansas. I got shoes on my mic. I got shoes on my dresser. I'm unfettered. I'm just better. I got a letter. I got a letter. The people in the chat want to find out what they sending all this mail about. I'm telling you, should I go back to school learning about Jesus? Jesus is cool. Jesus was the man from Nazareth. Somebody said, your dad is bad breath. He said, my dad is up above. He said, I'm going to show this wood some love. Jesus spent his life showing wood love. Jesus spent his life all up above. Yo, yo, give him a hug. Yo, yo, he loves the wood. Who was Jesus? Jesus loves wood. If you think I'm joking, you must be a clown. You don't understand. God is all around. That's the triune Holy Spirit, Holy Moses. Jesus was a queer dude. We got the beat. We got the wood. Jesus always said, go find me some more wood. He always ran out, but he didn't even quit. He wanted to build houses. Jesus never spit. Holy Moses, they want me back in school. Christendom College, this is for you. Your name is Nathan. This is for you. Your voice matters. Jesus loved wood. Taco has both given hope to the people and limited himself pertaining to his AI usage. What are y'all running on? What are y'all running on? We running on diesel, folks? Are we running on diesel now? Walaikum salam. Alhamdulillah. Salam alaikum. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Olam diala. Olam diala. God loved the balls. God loved the balls. Didn't he create it all? After all, he came down to earth just to get nut tapped. He said, my bros, love 'em like that. God loved the balls. God loved the balls. The Bible says the Holy Spirit moved men to write the Bible. You know what I think the Bible did? I think the Bible encouraged people to go find the Alpha and Omega, to go find the tree of life, and then to quit. You know, that's the lie that, God told men to tell themselves most days. Go find the bottom of a bottle. Just like Jesus thought when he first saw Paul. You can rub on the smooth cheeks. Tell me what you think here. Just like when Jesus found Paul. Luke and Matthew were no clowns. They said, Jesus, call me when Paul's not around. We can evade the Romans. I know you were hoping. I won't say it again. Down, down in Galilee, Jesus was happily playing Spanky. Jesus recovered, he preached on the mount. He said there's this one spot that makes the boys shout. But keep it down if the Jews are around. 'Cause if they find out, you'll be in the ground. That was the agreement for them. They said we follow laws and you can't be gay, and Romans will take that with you to the grave. It's not about freedom because love isn't free. But if you rub on a man's taint, then you just might be boom, 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 boom. This is the Old Testament. Wassalamualaikum. Omdiala. Alhamdulillah. 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 Allah Akbar. Alhamdulillah. Allah Akbar. Alhamdulillah. We're all in this together, brother. I don't know who said it wasn't. Yes, it is, brother. Alhamdulillah. 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 I've got a ball gag made out of cedar. My father didn't notice the wood went missing. My ball gag is made out of cedar, making me a fisher of men. I got a ball gag made out of olive. My father didn't know it went missing. My ball gag is made out of olive. I'm gonna go heal the man again. Do. I don't know why people think that stuff is a joke. My bad. Can you tell me the best recipe you have and any adjustments to make to it and why it's your favorite meal? Yeah. So my favorite flavor-wise is vegan fried rice with finely chopped sausage and tofu and stuff in it. It's one of the best I've ever had, but it isn't very filling. One of the reasons is that, I think when my body expects protein, and this is me after 4 years of being a vegan, my body still expects big chunks of meat, right? It's still big chunks of the micronutrients and stuff in meat, big chunks of the macronutrients in meat, the texture, the experience, all that stuff. But I do love vegan fried rice because it's easy to eat a lot of. It's easy to store. It stores well. And yeah, um, I'm a big fan. My favorite simple vegan food is papas, right? You know, before I go drinking with Aunt Tia and Uncle Tio, I'll have lots of papas. Papas it's affordable. Potatoes, they don't scream when you should throw them in the pressure cooker, to be totally honest, bro. This is one of the important points you will understand. You will find out. Is that, yeah, papas, 5 grams of protein per potato. Yes, 5 grams of lots of carbohydrates. And so when I'm making a burrito roll up, the experiment that I ran, Chef Gordon Ramsay said, you can get a high smoke point oil, hijo, cut the potatoes nice and thin, but lots of surface area so they're crispy. Remove the starch, right? The starch boils and bubbles and it prevents the caramelization. It burns, right? It'll burn or just not do that, But Chef Gordon Ramsay, he said, hey, if you're going to go drink with Uncle Tio again, what you can do is you can pour some Bud Light and tequila on the papas. You can see how much it absorbs. Yeah, of course, it turned out that when I put my papas in with tequila and Bud Light, a lot came out. But then I tried putting some flat earth books in there. It didn't absorb any of it. Yeah, so this is why I don't go out with Uncle Tio that often, because I can be hungover and I will recover, but I cannot recover from flat earth. The Bible says God is not the author of confusion. King James Version is a bad translation, homie. Hell yeah, brother. You guys, there's going to be a lot of experts in chat pretty soon, so I'm here to read you guys too, but there's going to be a lot of experts there. Are you a film? Don Huggies. I don't know who Gabble Hannah is. I have no clue who that is. Not really. I got a ball gag made out of dreidels. I got a ball gag I got from my dad. I'm from Galilee. I'm not perfect. Oh, I'm from Galilee, the Son of Man. I got a ball gag I'll give to Peter. I got a ball gag I'll give to Paul. I got a ball gag I'll give to Simon. I got a ball gag for Luke et al. I got a ball gag that's worth writing a couple stories about. They always said Jesus was the greatest writer, and I don't know what that's about. So I got a ball gag I'll wear on a Sunday, ball gag I'll wear on a Sabbath. I got a ball gag I'll use for my people. do 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 do. I still got a shout out. I don't know if Patrick's here. I never got closure. We got a great super chat gift from friend homie Patrick through the direct donation link. And so still shout out to homie. Shout out to the homies. Elbow man, explain why God's yeah. What is the book of Michelada, right? The book of, this is how that works, right? You've got Saturday and Sunday and everything you're doing, your just wars, just holy, just patriarchies, just holy. But then it's Monday morning and, you got this bad hangover, God has done all these mean things to all kinds of people, irrespective of their age. And then he's going to say, hey, let me send this guy to go talk to you about it, And then so it's kind of like a Michelada. Michelada, you're watching the Seattle Seahawks or maybe the San Diego Chargers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bad Sunday, bad football games, dude. So you have a Michelada and it's Monday. Shout out to my Arizona Latinos. Shout out to my Chicano families. Shout out to Mexicanos. Shout out all of you, But this is a story that's in the Bible and someone has to make sense of this. No way. No way, dude. That's what the atheists say. That's what an atheist will say. Well, no, you just don't gotta make sense of it then. Look maxing, Clav and look maxing, the Clav maxer. The Clav max. I saw a video of Clav and I get it, he's doing social media and stuff like that, but he was like standing over this chick, kind of in her face. He could have easily walked away and, she was obviously getting frustrated with the conversation and stuff. And so I think social media completely lost sight of the fact that, your body language and posture can be like a form of intimidation and violence. And people that don't understand that don't get it, right? But also, because I wrestled, so I understand that stuff a little bit, I get it. Yeah. And then I also respect I respect content creators who are on the content grind and hustle and working 24/7 to make content. It's like you guys want to have a positive influence on people, make some money, get famous, be that sort of popular. But yeah, I think it's also sets a bad example. Clavicular, I think he's both maybe too young to really be held to account for the bad example that he sets. But he's old enough to have those conversations and know, especially on social media, it's not how you're perceived, but it's the type of person you show people that you can be that is successful. And so it's just weird because he could have taken an extra 5 years and been one of the most handsome guys on the internet. He could have gotten modeling, advertising deals. He could have, worked his way into more like, red pill or manosphere spaces. And maybe it wouldn't have been like content I personally would have watched, but those are all things that can play out before you're 30 years old on social media. He could have still had 1 million subscribers when he's 30, but as it sits, I think the fact that he's like, your actual total footprint includes the fact that you posted an OD video to 25,000 subscribers on YouTube, right? Didn't have to look it up. That's Clav's YouTube footprint is he's got 25K here on YouTube. And so obviously shout out and respect to the bro, but I've also seen behavior that is totally unacceptable. Like outside of social media, it would be like, well, who is this guy, right? You've got giant bodyguards, giant cameramen, and you're the big tough guy in front of them standing over this chick asking her to hit you for content, right? And so I don't think that's even close to worth it. Yeah, that is exactly what that video was. And, relative to your own well-being and health and stuff like that, take a break, brother. People are really nice. People are really compassionate and understanding. And I don't think anyone would have a problem if you reassess the timeline of your goals relative to how you perceive yourself that no one else actually knows. No one else actually knows. And so, yeah. So shout out to Clav, I guess. I don't know. I think it's an example where, yeah, I mean, whatever, it doesn't matter, I think other than just saying what something is, what like the content he's actually produced, what it is, you get into these stupid conversations where, then Andrew Tate's gotta invite him on his podcast and be like, well, yeah, this guy's maybe more effeminate than me, but there's so much toxic femininity, and so let's discuss his goals and the double standard or something like that. It's like, okay, cool. So that machine tumbles and rolls over itself and all that bullshit. So it's sort of delusional, right? It's sort of this weird delusional thing where, the red pill and manosphere has gotten so big and popular that nothing's going to change it. Nothing's going to help. Um, and like look maxing is right there in the red pill, I think. I don't think that's a double standard. I think it is because we've seen the videos and stuff like that. LeBron James? I don't think so. LeBron James has his son. One of his sons is playing in the NBA with him. Yeah. Obviously with the pace of change in the internet, I don't know what Clavicular thinks about all these topics and how he fits in and changes and stuff like that. Um, but I don't think the internet changes that fast, right? He's still got to appreciate that he's 25 times bigger than me on YouTube. And even being 25 times bigger than me, he still has that same sort of like mindset where, yeah, dude, our audiences are gonna go to work or go to grocery shopping or they're gonna go do gaming and stuff like this, right? You know, a lot of us you and I are both planning on spending more time on the internet, more time live streaming, more time making content. Um, you know, but I think the difference is, maybe there isn't that big of a difference, and you say, oh well, we're the same. But at the same time, if you can't manage the same stuff over and over and over and over and over and over again, right? It's not useful if you can't make your 25,000 subscribers happier, more successful, more compassionate because they're watching you, then you're being cruel to yourself. You're working harder than you have to for nothing, right? And now you're also roping other people into it in your real life, right? Not via camera, not via microphone, but in your real life. Um, and so part of it is responsibility. Part of it is just that, yeah, that argument's going to be had by people. People are going to understand and take a look at, how you've chosen to relate to people. And maybe it's true that, yeah, outside of saying you are the most handsome man in the world, which is probably true, you are also saying you have this humility about you. But that humility seems to go away or become less important when you start, when if we see a character like Clavicular, and their character has like a bad guy story arc where he's willing to stand up to toxic women who are getting drunk and partying. Nobody in the world ever asked for that to happen, right? And so you're showing people just what can happen or what happens, but everyone already knew that, right? We don't need an example from you. And so you're putting yourself out front for stuff that people don't need, negatively impacting people. You're asking that other people, you're basically also tacitly asking other people in the world stand up for you. Other people in the world are going to come out and attack women now because of your behavior. But it's not just that, right? It's not just that. Then it's also that, simultaneously, while we're seeing a social bad guy story arc play out, or a social sort of, lolcow drama arc playing out, the other side of that is that, yeah, the same people probably want you to be okay. The same people should want you to be healthy. No questions asked, right? No questions asked, And so, yeah. And so obviously, I think if you're pushing forward and building the brands, just the feedback from like the very lowly politics, discourse, culture streaming, no red pill, no pill, black pill sort of side is going to be that it's criticism and stuff like that too. I'm going to go refill a coffee. I'm going to go refill coffee if there's any left. Let me go ahead and flip the green screen on. Whoops. I'll be back in just a minute. Hey, what's going on Smile Be Fine? Hey, everyone, I'll be back in just a second. You guys can go back, read some of the chats. We were talking clavicular, doing a little religion talk and stuff. Thanks for being here. And yeah, I'm going to go find a coffee. And somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. There's a man that I dream of, dreams really do come true. Somewhere upon the mountain top where something goes to find me. And when there is a do 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 do, there I'll be. Don't editorialize the universe, everyone. Somewhere over the rainbow, blue birds fly. There's a dream that I dream of once in a lullaby. Somewhere upon the mountain top where something do 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 do. Yeah. All right. Maybe sometime next week, I'm gonna set a super chat goal to buy panel stuff so TBS can come on here and nobody will be mean to him. I'm 5'9", 5'10", 6'7". Somewhere over the rainbow, blue birds fly. There's a man that I dream of, dreams really do come true. Somewhere over the rainbow, blue birds fly. There's a man that I dream of, dreams really do come true. All right, Lord Farquaad, fair point. Nah, I'm a little stocky feller. Yeah, all day, Chelsea, I could just be doing, stuff with my neck in my animal form, and people would be like, what? I don't know what that is. No offense, though, dude. Somewhere over the rainbow, blue birds fly. There's a land that I came from. Birds really do come true. Somewhere upon the mountain top where something do 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 do, I'll find me. Where do do Whoa, guys. We had the stream crash out real quick. I had just a quick little blip. I had a quick blick. Just a quick little blick. Just with a flick of a wrist. Woo. Just with a flick of a wrist. Woo. Yeah. You guys don't expect me to be parts of these hard-hitting journalistic conversations, and that's just an illusion, right? That's not true. Duck is going to be right there. Duck is going to be right in there. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say anything mean or hurtful. If I said something offensive, then I would be more careful about my words in the future because it is still first some type of conversation, but also um, no, it's because the biblical epistemology asks you to be less intelligent, right? It's very brass tacks to me personally. You know, if we're squashing this topic out now, on to the next one. We're going to close it out, fellers. And so the Bible first asks you to accept this very first chapter and verse asks you to accept a version of the universe that just never existed and never will, right? Genesis is patently wrong. And then you guys want to get to the end in the beginning. If you guys want to get to the book of Revelations, all of a sudden you're talking about foot fetishes. You're talking about magic cats. You're talking about all kinds of crazy stories. You're talking about mythical temples that were never predicted. And so when people say, well, there's truth, there's wisdom, there's morality, there are these the most important stories in humankind, those are sandwiched between things that never existed, and your brain isn't supposed to be allowed to just take some and not all of it. You know? But I also appreciate Elbow Man is here in good faith, and I'm singing about Jesus having ball gags and stuff like this, and they're engaging you guys in good faith. And so I also have respect for that, right? But that just has to do with you being a nice person. I don't attribute that to the Bible personally. You know, that would be difficult for me to make sense and understand that type of thing. See, we have 117 votes, just like Master Chief. And so 39% of them say no, women are not treated fairly in politics. 28% say it's complicated, and 32% of people say yes, women are treated fairly in politics. That's overwhelming. Only one third or one third of people think that women are treated fairly in politics. Crazy stuff, guys. Hey, what's up, Janvier? Good to see you. Yeah, it's supposedly live. We're resolving all types of issues in the world politics. Where and when we can stamp them out, we are doing it live. Where and when we stamp them out, we're doing it live. Like trouble melt on lemon drops. Do, 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 do. So is it fair if we are singing about uh, how Jesus had butt plugs and ball gags? Is that a fair? I don't think that's actually a fair epistemology about the Bible, but it is what it gets to eventually. Hey, shout out, George. Thank you for the American flags. Yeah, being an infidel or being a non-Muslim is different. Being a non-Muslim is different than being like an apostate in different senses. Oh, cool. So you're like in what's it called? Oh, cool. Janvier. So you're like in Niagara, right? Niagara is what I think of when I see French Canadian American. Oh, cool. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Do 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 do. I know I'd rather have some than nothing at all, but you think you're losing your mind. All right, Jan. Oh, is it really? That's cool. Big Buffalo Bills fans then. Probably lots of puffy jackets. Awesome. Sick, dude. I'm sorry. Uh, re-explaining the Bible to people. I don't know which direction. It could go either way. That the primary reason the Romans rejected Judaism was it just didn't include a form of bureaucracy which worked. You did have a monarchy. You know, Hebrew faith founded its own form of law and monarchy, um, but so did Islam with the caliphate. Nice. Cool. Yeah, it looks like a nice picture. It's a welcome change on YouTube. There's so much lack of authenticity here. So it's very nice that you have authentic stuff. Oh, my ghetto gospel. I don't work out anymore. Uh, mental illness, Chelsea. Mental illness. Yeah. I wouldn't trust YouTube to correct all of the ills of how chat addresses women and people who are deserving of respect and admiration, but so it goes, and all this other stuff, you know. I wish I had a story for this one. Cool, cool. Whoops. Whoops, what happened? Oh, thank you. I don't know. Uh, I don't know. I don't think it's a right spot to talk about that stuff. To be totally honest, just to be totally honest. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah, sis. Hell yeah, Jan. I really only chat to interact with the creators because trolls are annoying as hell. Nope. Um, ow. Yeah. You know, maybe some of the best test cases for women in politics, not in terms of a litmus test for competency, but just changing people's hearts and minds, are ordinary stories. Ordinary stories. You know, the ice riots in Los Angeles were a great example. Um, let's see. Sorry, this isn't on the top of my head just this second, but so Los Angeles has a GDP of 1.6 trillion, and Karen Bass is the mayor of Los Angeles. So you have a woman who people said is a leftist idiot, and she is the mayor of a city with a. Oh, thanks, dude. I appreciate that. Thank you for the $5. Huge thank you. And so Karen Bass has, yeah. And if we look at the $1.6 trillion GDP, the aspect of her budget that she administers includes both very large problems and large bureaucracies like law enforcement, like city management, like city planning, like zoning, like environmental protections, and then it also includes high impact stuff like housing and homelessness, public safety, um, uh, going out and doing larger sort of economic initiatives, transportation, gauging and judging how Los Angeles has been impacted by climate change and climate risk. And so Karen Bass isn't, minimizing the fact that she's the mayor of a city that has over $1 trillion, almost $2 trillion GDP, undermines the fact that uh, women are doing all of the exact same things as men in politics. That's what you are electing them for. And this is weird because when we talk about Donald Trump uh, gaining support and happily grifting off the patriarchy, the biggest change in my point of view is that MAGA and Donald Trump, they don't want you, they want you kind of cross-eyed, right? They want you, they want you thinking that there has to be, right, there has to be a better framing or lens when we see someone like Nancy Pelosi or AOC is just successful in politics, I guess. Who knows? I don't know where they're coming from on it necessarily. However, I do think it's the case that that something like that test case. We talked about Sarah Palin yesterday. We talked about how Sarah Palin was dishonest in the public eye, or her perspective seems to be very narrow to just what Alaska is like. And so to me, the sideline, the sideline topic is that, well, yeah, Sarah Palin can still also be about women in politics. She's someone who worked very closely with the oil and gas and energy industry because that's very important in Alaska. But she also had to be abreast of environmental and climate related issues. Maybe some people would say in respect to energy and oil and gas, and I'm not here to tell you your politics on those types of issues. However, just in terms of managing these large scale strategic things and what it says about human biology in general, about beingness, about life in general, about having neurons that work, Karen Bass should be an example and a role model to people who think that, yeah, it's kind of cool to just take on big, hairy, aggressive goals, the BHAGs, right? You don't need Gloria Steinem showing her armpit to convince you of this. You can take on first, second, third wave feminist literature as well if you wish. Or again, just for simplicity's sake and maybe for the time being, not for the sake of learning, you can just say $1.6 trillion is a number I don't understand. And who knows, maybe it's the case. Oh my God, is that a second? Is that a second or the first Jan? We have one or two. Hit, hit. That's funny. Coparter. Nobody's coping, bro. Two genders. No, I mean, whatever. Yeah. There's more than two phenotypes, but whatever. Oh, cool. There's more than two phenotypes, but also it's the case that, if like Karen Bass is an example of where you don't even need to bring gender into it, you don't need to bring gender into it. It's not that great of an injustice to say, well, yeah, you're being recognized for success leading one of the largest cities in the world and one of the largest economies in the world. So you're getting that level of recognition here. And yeah, if it's associated with gender, we're sort of sorry. We want to have the other conversation, but also cool. So that's just what's going on in the world. And there's you. Hey, Arcadia. Cool. Shout out. I'm also vegan. I'm also a vegan. It's very bright. It's very bright. It's got a great sort of planetary look to it. Great fundamental planetary look a little bit. I like it. I like it. It's very cool. People eating tasty animals, hunting state land. PETA, hunting state land. Yeah. I mean, I went through that. I ate a bunch of chicken nuggets. I loved corn dogs. I loved good meat, pork, like slow cooked pork and stuff like that. But to me, it just wasn't worth it. I'd rather have day old bread. Oh, cool. Oh, are you a scientist person? That's very cool. It's very neat. Those guys fit somewhere. think, yeah, I think I say we do a protest. We do a Greenpeace protest. Kick the photons, kick the light out of the standard model. Get gravity in there. Get gravity in there. We're sick of it. We're sick. We're not annoyed. We're sick of it, bro. Get out of here, dude. Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah. What's the difference between a field and a wave? Field theories and quantum coherence theories. The really exciting, see, that's the bummer, is like the science theories I understand aren't relevant anymore. Like, what was it? Coherence field theory was one of the big popular ones, but my understanding is that a lot of the older field and wave theories are still, as they're mathematical, they're still somewhat kinetic because they're ultimately resulting in this like finite sort of like a finite sort of discrete mathematics, meaning that we don't have infinite dimensions folding in themselves, and so there's even when we're looking at objects, there just is just always like some infinite or indeterministic sort of object or something like this. Yeah, probably. Yep. Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Solo missions. That's the way out of that longish plenty. Solo missions. If you were unclear, how you'll be remembered. How you'll be remembered. How you'll be remembered. Yep. Yeah. Most important topics first, folks. Always let's get the most important topics out of the way. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Yeah. Yeah. The other cool thing about science education is, just from my neurodivergent brain, is, yeah, it is cool to watch science documentaries that just tell you what the universe is like. And even when people get further into the theory and the variables of experiments, the method variable sort of data collection of experiments themselves and how those relate back to the theory, you've got these two really complex human functions, and this is how people like Dr. Dave sound so great, is because he's an actual scientist. This is Professor Dave. This is also how, whatever, in the atheist space, it's Dr. Blitz, it's Dr. Kip Davis, Sabine Hossenfelder, Dr. Sabine, Dr. Hossenfelder, Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, his hosts of Star Talk. These guys sound great because they've done both. These folks sound great because they've done both the experiments as well as the actual work in the field. And science education is really important because, yeah, it is just true that we went forward with things like quantum theory. We went forward with atomic theory even before that. You can't imagine the first time reading in the New York newspaper that we've discovered bacteria or we've discovered a cure for illness, such as penicillin. We discovered antibiotics for the first time. And so it's the case that, even when we have like really robust, rich scientific theories and things like this, yeah, it becomes true that more fundamental mathematics may be relevant. It may also be true that these are all conventions that we use in complexity to describe the universe. And those stories are always harder to find. Those stories actually end up interacting a lot more than we might think. Those stories also, to me, just from a sort of descriptive sense, depend a lot more upon um, various aspects of the universe and stuff to go do. You know, yeah, Hizzle was very nice to me yesterday. Hizzle was very nice yesterday. So Duck's doing okay. I told everybody my goal, my life plan basically pertaining to some of the chats is, hey Shy, what's up? Great timing. My goal is I'm gonna raise $1,000 at a time. Basically gonna eat rice. I'm gonna go spend $1,000 trying to score at a strip club, and then I'm gonna come back home and I'll start the $1,000 grift again. And so that's the plan. That's the plan, basically. We're gonna put some money in the blue collar pockets of the world. We're not gonna try to describe or say what it is. And to me, that's what YouTube's for, right? You put money at the top, you put monetization at the top. And so that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing, right? The soft. So if you guys will send one red super chat today, that's going to go towards my strip club budget. Yeah. We'll put a timer on it. Let's see what the goal is. The goal is we got 25 minutes left. 25 minutes left. 25 minutes left. 25 minutes left. Hell yeah, brother. This type of contract that we got here on YouTube, American social media, global social media. Rock on, everybody. Rock on, everybody. Rock on, everybody. Let's rock on. Let's get our party on. Hell yeah. Thank you. Appreciate everybody. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited. Thank you guys. Thank you for everyone. Yeah, Shy's an awesome contributor to the Ducks Y community. And the stuff that we're trying to talk about on the channel. Shy dropped a shout out in the comments after finding the channel, guessing through the algorithm, or however, it doesn't really matter. To me, not my business, right? That's what I always say. Guy like me, not my business. And so obviously pertaining to like just the social media online artwork community, shout out to everyone. Shout out everyone. Yep, exactly. Yeah. So earlier, just a stream recap, we talked about feminism. We talked a little bit about if women are treated fairly in politics. We also talked about the various juniper carpenturial ball gags that Jesus had. No offense to anyone, of course. And then there was some spirited argument and debate pertaining to those topics. I did also put up a shoe statue. So we've got the red Jordan Nike runners. We've got the Metcon cross-training rainbow version shoe, and we have a limited edition Jordan sneaker in gold and black. That is not a vegan shoe. Yes, I am a vegan. People asked, so now you know. Thank you. Shout out to everyone. Hell yeah, brother. I also put up my screensaver and got some coffee. That was really exciting for me. We also worked on our Alhamdulillah. We are working on it, folks. We are working on Alhamdulillah. That's our goal. I'm going to say, okay, brother. When people say, what is America like? I'll say, okay, brother. Hell yeah, brother. And I will ask, people in the Arabic-speaking world to learn that. And then when you guys say cool stuff like Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, praise be to God, Alhamdulillah, 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 I will also learn that. Hey, see you, Hizzle. I'll see you over at Tacos. Thank you so much for the moderation and thupers tonight. Thank you. Appreciate you, dude. Yes. Take care, Duck. Steve Madden. 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 Ah. Whoops. Ow. Jesus. Ow. Whoa. Whoa, 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 Thank you. Let me catch my breath and we'll go again. I don't want to be a chicken, I don't want to be a duck, all I want to really do is shake my butt. I don't want to be a chicken, I don't want to be a duck, all I really want to do is quack, quack, quack. I apologize for the interruption. My bad. Okay. All right. Holy shit. I had a lot of respect for people on the big social media sites, of course. If our spiritual health isn't internally we're not athletic spiritually, and we are pushed into situations that are difficult. Um, yeah, those have been really hard for me in the past. Those have been some of the toughest situations. It's just a sense of patience and waiting and remaining mindful. Um, hey, thanks, Computer Fist. Yeah, I mean, the topic on the screen is, are women treated fairly in politics? And this is a banned message. It says, this, yeah, I won't read the banned message, but that's not relating to the topic totally, as far as I see. Obviously, it's an opinion others share as well. However, I don't see it being a political or a social opinion necessarily. If that's all, and not but, and that's all you have to say about it. So, hi Benji, I hope you're well. Yeah, we do 18 plus topics at nighttime. And yeah, pertaining other circumstances and scenarios, just welcome to be here and stuff like that as well. Hi, UG. It's good to see you, dude. Good. Hopefully you're good. Yeah, brother. So this is a toy my mom got me. This is peach lemon head, sour flavors and the whatnot. Peach lemon head. My favorite. It is all of my favorites. Yes. This one is my favorite. It is all of my favorites. Yes. Yes. Pussy. Bitch. Dang, dude, that was rude. That was rude as heck. Ain't that dumb? Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah, brother. All right, guys, we're looking for the 50 membership gift. We've got 6 minutes left. I know there's only 10 of us here. But I want to bling out the channel. I want to unlock more emojis. I want $250, dude. I need $250. I need $250, dude. I need $250. I ain't a garglehead. I live in a concrete shack. I live in a concrete mansion, is what they call it. Thea Jan, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Hi, Brandon. I heard Jerome Powell has a Grinder account. You need $250 as well? Hell yeah, Payne. Good luck to you with your financial living stuff goals, the material stuff goals that you have pertaining to things and all this other stuff. All this other stuff. Stimulated obsolescence. You know, that's what the top VCs focus on in every community. Hell yeah. I got 131 votes today. I got a full analytics suite in YouTube I get to go check out, so I'm excited about that. That's my later today. I don't know that I'll totally end the stream, but what is that? Yeah, after transaction fees, let's just trade back and forth until we both have $0. Until we both have $0 again. You know, that heuristic is useful if you're a banker. You know, you can just say, hey, yeah, we will just we'll be trading back and forth. You know, vertically, our asset classes will be trading back and forth. Horizontally, in terms of the organization, the buyer, the transaction cost, the management structure cost, will trade back and forth, and it'll be good. You know, we are not moving towards producing something new. Innovation, we are not more efficiently moving the assets that we have through the economy. Inefficiency. So I will go find the thing then that I'm not trading back and forth for. Yeah. And then of course, I'm talking about thousands of people, or if I'm a CEO, I might be talking about tens of millions of people. Those are my customers or the people I wish to impact positively. Yeah. And so it's so simple. In society, we often put problems that we ourselves cannot or are unwilling to solve on powerful people. But then we also use those same delusions to unfairly criticize them, right? Instead of leveraging fair criticism of the system, fair criticism of the types of systems they manage. So I think it's a balance to respect people and things like this. Yeah. Yeah. How do we do it, brother? How do we do it? All right, guys, I'm going to put up a green screen. I'm going to go grab some coffee, I think. I'll be right back. What green screen? I'm going to put up my shame list. I'm going to put up my masculinity. This is my masculinity. Um, there you guys go. Blessings. Duck will be right back. Feel no obligation, of course, to stay. Thank you for being here too, on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel, everybody. I have a lot of pride of my YouTube channel. Thank you. Dude, I was on mute the whole time. Dang, dude. I just counted pi out to the 300th digit, bro. Can you hear me now? I should be back on, mic'd up, audio-wise. No offense, though. Fixed. Cool. I put my hands up, playing my song. The butterfly flies away. I'm playing my song like, yeah. I'm singing my song like, yeah. I put my hands up, I'm playing my song. You know it's gonna be okay. And yeah, it's a party in a USA. And yeah, it's a party in a USA. I'm putting on my favorite song. All right. Dun-dun. Some people live for the fortune. Dun, 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 dun. Some people live for the fame. Yeah. Some people live, and you know I feel this way, for the power. Yeah. Some people live to play the game. And some people think it's the innocent things that decide what's within. And I've been there before. And then life's a bore and so full of the superficial. And some people want it all, but I don't want nothing at all. If it ain't you, baby. If I ain't got you, baby. Yeah, some people want diamond rings. Some just want everything. But everything is nothing, babe, if I ain't got you. Some people search for the fountain. Promises forever young. Some people want 2 dozen woes, yeah. Hey Karen, I got you, dog. Let me just go ahead and throw it up. Here. You know, I've acted in the past like this is not innuendo, and yet it is. You know, and so Karen, you're talking about math problems. You're talking about large geographical masses. You're talking about vector spaces. You're talking about vector databases, right? AI additions and subtractions and the whatnot. All kinds of AI divisions. Some people search for the fountain. Promises forever young. Some people want 2 dozen woes, yeah. And that's the only way you can say you love them. Hand me the world on a silver platter, and what good would it be? Karen, you're not going to solve your problem going around the outsides. No one to love and care for me. It is funny. It is funny. It's not funny. It is funny. Some people want it all, but I don't want nothing at all. If it ain't you, baby. Thank you guys so much for the help, for just hanging out. We got 4 out of 10 on just a arbitrary super chat goal. I'm going to go ahead and pertaining to YouTube, because I cannot set membership goals, I'm going to go ahead and we are setting a goal which is meant to gaslight people into thinking that money is scarce resource and it doesn't come around again. Here you guys go. There we go. Okay. All right, guys. So we got a next goal set up. Next goal is set up, folks. Cool shoes back there. Thank you. Thank you. My favorite shoes I have right now, I've got a pair of Nike Free Runs. I'll show you guys these. Used shoes. Here's the bigger clunker. So if anybody runs in chat, those that can afford new shoes and the right shoes for you, yeah, definitely go do it. Go check out the local running store, the Dick's Sporting Goods. You know, it's a big part of staying healthy. As someone who has run over 2,000 miles for like 5 years in a row. But yeah, I got these used at a Goodwill, you know, dirty fingernails and all. These are a Nike Free Run, nice and flexible. Proof, evidence, I don't know what you want me to say, but yeah. So these can go low tier, but those are an equal part of my own sneaker collection. You know, no offense to people. Some people want it all, but I don't want nothing at all. If it ain't you, baby. If I ain't got you, baby. Was I supposed to buy different shoes? Oops. Oopsies. That's my bad. It's my dad getting on my back about stuff I should have been doing. I'll ask the men in chat today. Men, fellas, which ones? The gray scale or the blue scale? Gray scale, blue scale. I like blue. And some people want it all, but I don't want nothing at all. Whoops. Oh, okay. Thank you. All right, guys, we should be back. I'm sorry about that. I don't know. Yeah, that was right. Yeah, you guys could hear me typing. If you guys could hear me typing, I don't know why. Everything hurts. Everything's broken. If you guys can hear me talking, the sound of my voice. This is the third time YouTube's kicked me out of the live stream. I don't mean to complain, but yeah, that is a fact in reality in the world. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut down the stream for right now. Thanks everyone who showed super chat support. If anyone was curious, we raised $22 in super chats. So of course, YouTube takes a processing fee from my point of view of the $22, And yeah, I'm looking forward to having a good day. I will catch you guys around. I'm going to go browse some YouTube myself. So maybe see y'all out there. Thank you.